Hi guys, welcome to Network Engineer Stuff. So guys, in this video we are going to focus on configuration of a router as a DHCP server in Cisco Packet Tracer. So the topic is very clear. We have to configure a router as a DHCP server. But why do we need that? Because if you see in real network, uh, we will have a dedicated DHCP servers. But yeah, we can also have a router as a DHCP server, because many times it happens that that it is not affordable option to have a DHCP server, a dedicated DHCP server. So why won't we use a router as a DHCP server? So yes, we can use a router as a DHCP server, and well, the main purpose of DHCP, as many of you may be aware, that a DHCP server is a very useful network management protocol, which is my favorite, because it's actually reduce your efforts, a lot of efforts of assigning the IP addresses to the host in the LAN. Basically, it provides dynamically provides or assigns IP addresses to the host on the LAN, and it saves a lot of time. For example, over here in this diagram we can see in this topology, you have a router, a switch, and a very small network, you can say. Only 3 hosts are there, 3 PCs are there. So you can statically go and assign IP address to each PC. But imagine if you have 100, 200, 500, I don't know how many. So it will be very difficult for the network engineer to go and assign statically the IP address to each and every PC. So DHCP is our friend over here. He helps us. This protocol helps us to assign the IP addresses to this PCs or this host over the LAN. And it don't only assign IP addresses, but it also provides other communication parameters. I have mentioned over here in the definition. Communication parameters to those hosts. Communication parameters, and we can say what a PC will need: an IP address, a default gateway, a DNS server IP. So that kind of stuff it also provides this DHCP server. So let's quickly move ahead. Basically, before moving ahead, I have to just clarify this point that this DHCP uses a client server architecture. So who is the server here? The router, which is actually going to assign the IP addresses, and who is the client who is going to receive these IP addresses and the other information are the PCs over here in this LAN segment. So let's configure our router. I have not configured anything. So for this configuration, I have to do multiple steps. So the very first step, I'll assign the IP address to this interface gig 0/0/0, which is a LAN interface. In the second step, I'll create a DHCP pool, and I have to define the network. Now here the network which will be for this DHCP pool will be 10.1.1.0/24, and I'll also define, let's say, some parameter like an IP default gateway. I'll also assign that also. So let's see. And the third step, we will actually see the setting on the PCs, in which way it can receive that dynamic IP address from this DHCP router or DHCP server. So this is my router, and I have to just check over here. First of all, show IP int brief. So this is my LAN interface. Config mode, and assign an IP address which is 10.1.1.1 255.255.255.0, and I'll simply do no shut. So the interface is up and is good. You can also check it, do show IP int brief. You can see the interface is up with an IP address. So this is my step number 1. The step number 2 is to configure the DHCP pool. The configuration is very simple. It will start with IP DHCP. If you give a question mark, we'll find here pool. So DHCP pool. we have to give a name to the DHCP pool. So let's give it as a LAN pool. And here we have multiple options. So currently we have to, very first step is to give a network. So we'll give a network. So network 0/24. So 255.255.255.0. So this is a very, very, very basic thing to be configured under this DHCP pool. The other options is to configure a DHCP server. If you want, you can configure it, and default gateway also. So let's configure one of the things. Let's configure default gateway. So the command is default router. Default router will be guys, this interface 10.1.1.1. okay, because this particular interface gig 0/0/0 will be the gateway for all the hosts in this network. So this is my IP default gateway IP address, and here my configuration is done. The command for verifications is show IP DHCP binding. So this is the command. So currently there are no binding. This basically shows you the list of the clients which are connected to this particular DHCP server. So let's go on the PC. So this is my PC 0. And here you can see currently it is static. So I have to configure here statically, but I have to go for DHCP option. So I'll go with DHCP requesting IP, and it has got the IP address. Yeah. So DHCP request is successful. Basically, this PC requested for a DHCP request, and this server has replied it that request and assigned this IP address of 10.1.1.2. We configured it 10.1.1.1. 10.1.1.0/24, and it has given this IP address 10.1.1.2. It haven't given 10.1.1.1 because it is already configured over here in the segment. So it is given the next IP address, which is 10.1.1.2. If I go and configure this PC, it will give it 10.1.1.3, and so on. So this is given, IPv4 address is given, subnet marks is given /24, and the default gateway is also given. We haven't configured DNS server, so that is the reason it is 0.0.0.0. Okay, so this is how we can configure it. Now if I go and get an option over here, it will give it 10.10.10.3. Let's see. If I go in desktop over here and DHCP options over here, it is getting 10.1.1.3. If I go here, it will get 10.1.1.4. Now in case I don't want the IP address is 10.1.1.4 to be given to this PC, I want it to reserve for some other purpose. Maybe for statically I have to give it to some other PCs. That also I can do. I can exclude certain IP addresses from my DHCP pool. Okay, so let's do that also. That configuration also I'll show. So for that I'll go on the router, my router, and here what I'll do is first I'll show you the bindings. Show IP DHCP binding. So here you can see this two PCs, then got this IP address. So this is my PC 0 and this is my PC 1, and then got this IP addresses. Now I'm going to show you the exclude option. So I'll go in the config mode, give the command IP DHCP. Here we have this excluded addresses. So I'll just type excluded addresses. Now I want to exclude. So already 10.1.1.1 is given to that interface. This interface 10.1.1.2 is given here. 10.1.1.3 is given over here. Now I want 10.1.1.4 till 10.1.1.10 to be reserved and not to be assigned dynamically from this pool. So I will go in this exclude address and type. Then I'll give the high IP address will be 10.1.1.10. Now we will see that this PC2 will get the IP address 10.1.1.11 because we have excluded till 10.1.1.10. So let's go on this PC. We go on this desktop, IP configuration, and I'll just give you a DHCP, and you will see here 10.1.1.11. And the other stuff. So in this way, we can also exclude certain IP addresses from that DHCP tool. So this is a video which is basically focusing on how to configure a router in DHCP server. I've also made some videos related to DHCP on my YouTube channel. You can also check for those videos. Those are also very useful. I may also paste the link of those videos in this description of this video. For now, I'll stop here in this video. If you really like this video, guys, please do subscribe to my channel, Network Engineer Stuff, and also like the video, comment, share with your friends, so that it will motivate me to make such videos, more videos, and give it to you. So guys, I'll stop, and thanks for watching. Have a nice day. Thank you.